if you have chatbots with machine learning and AI in place, then they don't talk to support directly unless it's a, an issue that the bot is not able to solve. So you're reducing the onboarding and support costs, and you're providing customer delight because you're providing just in context help, which means that they don't talk to you as a company. They're just talking to, when they don't have to actually speaking, if they don't talk to you, if you're a company, they're very happy customers. Okay. Any questions so far? Alright, moving ahead. So far the performance of a writer has been judged by the articles they write, the language that they have used, but this is changing. Why is it changing? Because a writer is now also required to affect the NPS. How many of you are aware of NPS? Okay. So NPS is basically Net Promoter Score. Net Promoter Score is very important in a SaaS environment especially. It's because NPS, say what happens is, say if you're an end user, a survey goes out to you. It has only one question. The question is, on a scale from -10 to +10, how likely are you to recommend this product to someone? You might have seen this surveys coming to you. Okay. So that means that from the scale is from -100 to +100. So, if you get a positive NPS score, that means that people are very happy with your product. So, how is a writer responsible for, for end users' happiness? Is by giving great help, which is available at the tip of a button, and that they don't have to talk to you. So, it all boils down to that. So, a writer's NPS score, and all these that you see here are measurable. And, if you want to know how we can measure it, I could just, talk to you offline. All right. And okay, so I'll just take a step back and just give you a recap. I told you the difference between a client server model, and I told you what a cloud is and what are the different aspects to it, and how has it affected the documentation. And because you cannot deliver PDFs anymore, the HTML is taking more precedence. Now because it's HTML that is taking precedence and the help is available over the internet, not within your product, you are opening up your content to the Google search engines and other engines of the world. So your content is indexed, and when it is indexed and it is accessed by people, you have a lot of analytics into it. Okay. And how are you going to leverage that analytics? And this is one aspect. Another aspect of it is, in 2007, I worked on a product called CA Brightstore AXA, and then CA had tied up with Microsoft because Microsoft had come up with a product called ASA, Automated Service Agent. So they said, this is the artificial intelligent future. This is what it is. And they said, you're going to take your content, put it in here, and this is going to answer all the questions for you. So what I had to do, I was excited about it. I signed up for the project, and when I started doing, it was like this. What is your name? How do you call yourself? And how do your parents call you? What do your siblings call you? I had to write all these questions. The answer was, my name is X. If the answer is my name is X, I had to write these 10 questions. So as a writer, I had to think what is the question that a user can ask, and for that I had to ask these questions. So I had to come up with a list of answers and had to come up with an exhaustive list of possible questions. Okay? Not FAQs, only questions. One question, turn it in 100 different ways. Imagine the different ways that a customer can ask, and come up with, for that answer, this is the questions is what you have to come in. So this used to be in a knowledge base, or this was in a table, database. So what used to happen if a customer comes in, hi, what is your name? If they ask that question, the programming would look at what is your name. Here is what is your name. Okay, this is the answer, and it used to give the answer. So that was called artificial intelligence. It's not actually artificial intelligence. You have programmed it by giving it input. Okay. So now this has moved on, and there is something called machine learning which has come in. This is if you see the Google, the self-driving cars which they are talking about right now, and they are saying this is self-learning. So what is that self-learning there? Okay, the thing is this. 5 minutes? Yeah. Okay, so I'll have to rush through it. Okay, so the self-learning thing here is, right now the software, okay, so in Zenoti what we do is that we have defined an event. The event is, if a customer asks support a question, if the first response contains a link to an article, that is a machine learning. So what happened over the last 5-6 months when people were asking questions, say how do I book an appointment? And if the first article goes about appointment, it used to take the different ways people were asking the question and what was the article that was shared. So it was creating that artificial intelligent list. After it created that artificial intelligent list for 3 months, it started responding. When after 3 months when somebody asked, how do I book an appointment? This article used to go out. And then that means that the person has not talked to a support engineer, they have gotten the answer, and then they're pretty happy about it. So this is all measurable. I have this in a live demo in my company website. If anyone of you is interested, I'll be happy to show that. Okay. So what are the 3 new friends that you have? That's analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. So analytics and machine learning, AI and machine learning, I gave you an intro to it. So if you have to come to this model of developing content, there are some softwares which are available to you. One is Intercom Educate, HelpJuice, DriftBot, LBO, HelpSite, and FAQ bots. This is not an exhaustive list. These are my favorite platforms that I had explored. So maybe if you're interested, you could look at what it does. But I have zeroed down on Educate and I continue to use Educate. Okay. So what do these softwares provide? It provides you a knowledge base that you could develop. It gives you an easy search. It gives you chatbots with AI and machine learning and gives you a slew of analytics. I'm sorry I'm rushing through it, but if you require more details on this, I'll be very happy to talk now or later as well. And then, if you just give you what's the search criteria, it's like if we tell you it gives you a great search, the search is typo tolerant. So even if you have spelling mistakes, it understands. It understands synonyms and it also discovers data. Okay. And what do AI plus machine learning does is that it observes what your support is doing, sees what are the articles that you're sharing, and next time somebody asks that question, it shares that, it answers for you. And in a sense, it's giving you self-service. So analytics. Analytics, it gives you the page views. So overall, how many people have visited your help center? And who have, it gives you the geographic locations. Where did they come from and what time they have come from? And it will tell you the top viewed articles. So, I'll just spend a minute on the top viewed articles, why it is important. Say you send out, you publish if your company comes up with a new feature and then you, create documentation for it. Say if the top viewed article is this one, particular one that you recently wrote, it means that people are looking at it. And say after a week, people are looking at how do I fix a particular problem. That means that many people are facing an issue. So either the feature has not been built properly or the UI is not well, or you should restructure your documentation. It gives you an opportunity to get back and correct what's gone wrong. And then it gives you the content relevance. So it's like if people are coming in, are they finding the content? So how are they landing at the content? Are they drilling down to the content or are they searching for it? It gives you the content relevance. It also gives you the engagement level. So it's for us 2 minutes is a great time. So it means that a person comes, if it visits your help center and they're at a particular page, so they are at least 2 minutes. So that's the session that they have. So that's pretty good. And then how many people are contacting support after looking at your documentation? You can get this too. So if you're not going with these providers, the Educate and others as well, there are a list of individual providers, who could give you this. So if you're looking for search providers, these are my top list, not in any particular order. Of course, Google is always my go-to. Algolia is also something that I like. And then if you're looking for chatbots, apart from what Pandurang has said, these are the ones which are available. And then you have, these are the analytics platform. I would wonder why would somebody want to move away from Google Analytics when, that's covers almost everything. So this is what I had to have. If any of you is interested, I could show you how we have integrated AI and machine learning within our product and how it's, helping us close tickets even without talking to support. And then I'll also show you the relevance, how the auto suggestions are taking place. I could give you an overview of everything that we are doing. So I've come to the end of my presentation. So I'm good here, right, Rahul? Yeah. Okay. So I'll be happy to take any questions. Do you have time for questions? Yeah. Okay. That was Shatabdi Express, I'm sorry. So too much to cram in very short time. Yeah.
This is something that even we come across as an organization. What happens is that documentation remains same, irrespective of whatever the kind of audience that we are dealing with. Because it's the same version that we have to serve in the SaaS model that is available to everyone. Now let's say if I come across any of the clients who demands that this documentation is something that is confined to and no one else can do it. So do we implement the security mechanism again in that scenario, or there is a separate approach that you see?
See, if they're asking for a confined model, see, it's like, SaaS companies are always open.
Right.
So it's like, say if there is a company called Oracle which provides ERP, okay?
Right.
So it's like, if your organization, say X, is interested to go for Oracle, they would say, hey, you know what, we have two options for you. One, we can go with cloud and I'll give you generic information, or you have your own custom on-premise solution and go with a custom solution. But the idea, so it's like, it's based, it's upon your employer's requirement. Do they want it confined or do they want it exposed? That determines, the kind of content, that you want to build. But that said, on a SaaS product, normally it's open. We only come up with generic content, not customizing it to any customer. And other thing that you're talking about, the content is the same if you're building it for traditional and if you're building it for SaaS. I'm afraid, at least my experience has told me differently. So it's not the structure that matters. It's the questions that you are that customers are asking, you looking at it and answering those questions. So the tone can change, the way of delivery can change, the persona will change. So it's upon that. And especially if you are using a product which millennials or the children are using, the language has to differ. So at least that's the company that I work for asked me to do that. I'm not sure.